Are we on right now?
we're rolling.
Wow, welcome.
Oh,
Me trying to introduce your own. Oh, sorry. I gotta hold this thing way far back. We're still figuring out the technical aspects of this, folks.
Welcome to the first ever episode of my podcast, which do you know the name?
No, what's the name?
The Friendzone.
Okay, I'm on the Friendzone. I think I was just talking to Carter. Carter's a friend of ours, for all you audio listeners. I was talking to Carter. I feel like I'd be a good guest for your first episode.
Yeah.
Because I won't shut up, really.
Yeah, no, you already started. But did
I tried to introduce your podcast already, as if it were my own. Is this transcribing?
I think it is.
Huh. Okay.
For the audio listeners. Would
you like to introduce your podcast? I mean, I think this is a great. We were just talking. You have your own new creative endeavor now.
Yeah.
Truly. So.
Well, I was gonna get into like the idea of the podcast of like why I'm creating it.
Okay, I'd love to hear it.
Sort of, off camera, but
I think it's a great idea.
I'll explain it to you too. So I wrote out literally.
You got
why.
notes.
I've got notes. Number one. So basically, my New Year's resolution was to create some way for me to like hang out with friends more often.
Right.
Because as you know, I don't like going out very often.
A habit I have tried to fix many times, but c'est la vie.
Well, the one thing that I hated about it was like, you would make me stay out way too late, and I would get home so late. And
honestly, I think. Well, how did you feel about the last time we went out? We went out last time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was
and
good.
You came later and you stayed later. I thought you were great.
I stayed for like an hour.
I thought you were great. You know what? You could have stayed less if you wanted to. You know.
Yeah,
I think
I made my swift exit.
You were good.
But I don't know if this is like I don't know if you
this
feel
is
like
a good.
This, but having a specific amount of time allotted to just hanging out and just being like, okay, we're done, leave.
It's a good avenue for you.
It's over now. Yeah, I don't like the should I stay longer? Are we doing something after this? I don't like that. I like just
I do,
over now, you
but
can
that's
go.
okay. I think that's the difference between.
So
I'm a little more spontaneous.
Yeah, I know. So.
Now, do we want to introduce ourselves? How do we?
No, hold on. I'm not done.
Fuck, you got a whole plan to this. Goddamn, what am I doing?
Number two. I got this. I got it. Don't worry. Number two was just like getting to know people on a deeper level. Like you would say some shit to me, or somebody would say something to me. I'd be like, oh my god, I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
Or like, especially when I started my new job.
This is a great, yeah.
I would be talking to my coworkers and I'm like, you're working here at this department store, which I won't dox where I work, but like.
I think we should dox it. No, I'm just kidding.
We might later, but anyway, I'd be like, you're working here for some odd years. What did you want to do? Surely it wasn't working here. And so I would ask people. I was like, okay, so I want someone.
What do you want to do growing up?
Like a situation where I can ask questions without it being like, whoa, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing is like, so my other friends who come on here will be able to like watch previous episodes and get to know my other friends. That way, if we
I'm excited for Gabe. So we have a producer, Gabe, in the building. We have to say it, but I'm excited for his little podcast. I can't wait to hear.
You want to be on one?
I want to hear what a conversation between you two looks like when I'm not in the room.
No,
you know what I mean? I want to be the sneaky little fly on the wall when I'm fucking listening to you guys.
Okay. So, that's basically what this podcast is.
Yes.
And it's going to be very much like, this is not going to be promoted anywhere. The only people I'm expecting to see this are my friends.
Okay.
It's for my other friends and like coworkers.
Yes.
So like if we all hang out at some point, you'll all be like, oh, we already have something in common together, and I've seen your episode.
I listen to the podcast. Do you listen to the podcast? Great conversation to start.
Anyway.
Yeah, of course.
So, I also listen to a bunch of podcasts, and so that's where I know a lot of these segments from. Great. First question: what podcasts do you listen to?
I used to listen to a lot of movie podcasts. Real Blend, The John Campea Show. Now I listen to more like comedy podcasts. Espresso with Benedict Polizzi. These guys. Kind of a sports podcast, even though I don't listen to sports. I actually listen to Bill Maher's podcast, Club Random. I don't know. What do you listen to?
I listen to. I don't know if you're going to know any of these. The Broski Report.
I don't think you knew any of them.
I don't know any of yours. I don't know how many people will know any of yours either, and I don't know.
No, I doubt anyone knows any of mine. I've heard of the Broski Report.
The Broski Report.
Yeah.
Ooh, I pressed something. Oh my god. I paused my audio there for a second.
Don't worry, technical difficulties. We got extra audio going. Keep rolling.
Okay. I listened to the Broski Report, and I was listening to "Shut Up, I'm Talking" with Tommy Innit. which I stopped listening to very quickly because it was very annoying. And then I listened to So True by Caleb Heron.
Okay.
And Two Idiot Girls by Drew Ruffalo.
Okay.
And then recently I've been listening to Reddit Stories by Smosh Pit.
Okay.
Which is really, really entertaining. And also I'm taking segments from these different podcasts. That we're going to do these segments from inspired by the other podcasts. And one of the segments I want to do is maybe read a Reddit story and react.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that later. I don't know I don't have a Reddit story prepared today.
Yes.
Okay. For the viewers and listeners here, how long have we known each other?
3 years? But coming up on 4, really.
Yeah.
I'd say so, yeah. 4 years.
4.
Well, coming up on 4, you know? Yeah. We met in class. I was actually just saying, I feel like the script writing classes is where you find the most creative people. You know what I mean? In the script writing classes, I met a lot. That's where we met, was a script writing class.
Well,
and a production class. Yeah,
it was all at the same time. What was your first impression of me?
I love this question. Whenever like I've known someone for a long time, I love knowing like what was your, you know what I mean?
Because we talked about it before, but I don't remember.
You don't remember what my answer is? Oh boy!
Do you remember what mine is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what your first impression of me was.
Yeah. No.
I remember my first impression of Anna. Okay. Anna came because she was in that class too. Yeah. But my first impression of you, I thought you were the biggest fucking nerd.
I don't remember you saying that.
No, but in a good way. You were very Marvel focused when I first met you.
I just changed out of my Marvel shirt earlier because I was like, I know you're going to say something about it. I went to work in a Marvel shirt, another one of mine. But anyway, continue.
No, you're at the time we went around the class. We all said our favorite movies. Yours was Spider-Man, No Way Home. Yeah. So that would have been, let's see here, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're still in the way that you are. You're very specific about things. You know what I mean?
That was your first impression? You got all that?
Yes, of course. I'm very observant. Observant. And I don't know. I think that it to be honest with you, it was mostly the nerdy.
Okay.
But in a good way, of course. I'm sure mine was similar.
No.
Oh fuck.
You actually didn't talk a lot in class.
No.
I don't know if you remembered. But you would stare at everybody. You would be
really?
you'd be like so just like entranced, but when everyone was talking, especially in Ross's class, in the script writing class,
yeah.
Whenever anybody would go, I would just notice because it was you're so noticeable, you're such a caricature, like. And number one, my first looks wise, I was like, oh, it's a frat dude in our class. And I
hate that I get that a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Unfortunately.
It's the hat.
Yeah, I know.
And then I was like, literally, I was like, what's this guy doing in here? Like,
the frat dude, you just don't
look. I was like, you look like you're out of place or something.
Much to your chagrin, I'm the most in place.
And then I had a conversation with you, and I was like, oh my god, that's actually insane. I don't think I've ever been so wrong about
someone,
a person.
That's hilarious.
I think I'm usually pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we could agree I'm usually pretty spot on.
Yeah, you're usually pretty spot on.
Especially when it comes to teachers, not gonna lie, but anyway.
Wow, that's interesting though. I mean, I could see the frat dude, but that is funny that I walk into a cinema class and everyone thinks, what the fuck is this guy doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, until you start to talk and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
What was I saying? What kind
of things?
You didn't
say. The thing is, you weren't like saying anything. You were just quiet, and which is why I was kind of like.
What's interesting to me is that I was glaring at people. I didn't know I did that.
Well, you seemed really interested.
Well, I'm always in my own world. Okay, Miss Podcaster, not having her phone on mute.
That's what the audience.
I love that though. Great first question. Are you going to ask everyone that?
Yeah, because I want to see idea. what you think of other people's first impressions of me and everything. You know?
Yeah, right.
I feel like that's so crazy.
I don't know. You were just very you were individualistic and you were about what you liked.
Yeah.
Which I still think holds up.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, first segment. Our first segment of the podcast comes from one of the segments in the Shut Up I'm Talking by Tommy Innit.
Okay.
And Jake. Tommy and Jake.
I'm still going in blind since I haven't seen that.
Right. They have a segment called The Worst Part of Your Week. They start out their podcast with the worst part of their week instead of let's go around the room and say something nice. So what was the worst?
Such a you-coded thing. Let's talk about the most negative thing ever.
I know you'd say that too.
Okay.
What has been the
worst part of my week? I was off this week, so really not that. I'll tell you what it was. I went in for an oil change. Oh my god, how often does this happen? You go in for an oil change, you're like, yeah, actually you have $800 in repairs. I'm like, so I had to take it in. I had to get all my brakes redone and a gasket. No, I didn't do it. I don't know how to change the oil.
No, you let them do that and charge you? You got swindled?
Yeah. I didn't get swindled. I knew the brakes have been going out for a while. No one cares about my brakes. The point is, what the hell? I'm $800 lesser now. And
you had the week off, so you didn't even make it back.
What do you mean make it back?
You said you...
No, I didn't make it back. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. But I did direct a theater for musical theater, and they paid me about $1,500. So I sort of did make it.
You directed a play?
No. I directed a video for I don't know, some like their whatever you call it, their finals. I don't know what you call that.
Video project?
Yeah, like a I don't know, recital or something, whatever.
Well,
what was the worst part of your week, shall I ask?
I'm glad you asked. Let me think about it.
I'm glad you asked. Yeah, what do you mean? Let me think about it, as if you hadn't write the question.
Well, the week changed since when I wrote this, because we've been postponing this so much.
Episode 1.
Golly. There's something really bad, but I don't think I should say it. I won't say that.
Okay, look, can we just talk about how you say golly for a second then?
I get that from you.
Me? Yeah, that's what I figured. That's crazy you get that from me.
Think. Oh no! The dead air that I was hearing is me.
You are dead air.
I can't think about it. Yeah.
Well, don't worry, I'll fill it. I'm good at talking. I feel like you rub off, and you don't know you're from Indiana until you leave Indiana. Never did more people call me out on golly and stuff like that until I was in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay, the worst part of my week, I'll say this. I was going shopping for pillows, which I don't know how often you've been shopping for new pillows.
Not often.
Have you ever been shopping for pillows? I've realized this, but I've never bought a new pillow in my life.
No, probably not. It's like mechanical pencils. You just kind of find them. What, is that not relatable?
You find your pillows.
I don't know. In my house, you just pick one up. There's 1,000 of them laying around.
Well, so anyway, my pillows are falling apart, and they were really, really, really uncomfortable. And as you know, I'm someone who
prides himself on good sleep.
I do.
That's a whole podcast.
I know, a whole sleep podcast. Anyway, so I was going to get some new pillows. I got one from Target, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to splurge on a really, really nice one. So I went to a Mattress Firm. Don't go to a Mattress Firm.
I always thought mattress stores, because there's so many of them, you think they're like...
They're Coke fronts.
They're fronts for drug houses.
They are. I think that's...
Confirmed?
A confirmed theory.
All right.
So I went into a Mattress Firm, and immediately I started getting, like, like a car salesman guy.
Oh, I hate those
One
people.
of those. I didn't know.
Why do they have car salesmen at mattress stores?
I don't know why the theme was salesman. I don't know what about. I think they can get commission or something. Anyway, this guy was trying to sell me these pillows, and I was like, oh, I like this one. How much is it? And he's like, come with me. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I didn't want to say this in front of the other customers, but pillow you were looking at $200.
Let me take you to the back room.
Which, by the way, that's a tactic, apparently. I was talking to my dad about this earlier, and he was like, that's the salesman tactic? The salesman, first trick in the book is like, oh, come to the side with me, let me invite you into this more private area. And I was like, okay.
He's trying to get on your friends. He's trying to friend zone you.
Roll credits. And then I was like, oh, I made it very obvious. I was like, dude, I'm leaving. Like, you said 200, I'm gone. Yeah. And then he was like, okay, well, that other one that you're looking at is 120. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Still, do you think that made any difference? I work at a goddamn retail store. What do I look like?
What do you think I'm gonna do? A week's pay on a pillow?
Yeah. So he's like, okay, just curious, like, what were you looking to pay? And I was like maybe $30, maybe $40 for like the best pillow of my life, maybe. And so he was like, okay, I'm gonna apply my my employee discount. And I was like, oh, you don't...
What the hell is this guy?
Yeah, I was like, you don't have to do that. That's, like, really weird of you to offer. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know if I'm, like, really charming.
This is what I mean. This isn't real. This place is not real. This is a front for some other shady business.
Yeah, it is.
You know what my favorite thing to do at the state fair is? Is to go up to the people who are selling beds and say, show me all of it. I want to see everything. And they show you all, they lean you up and down. You're like, that does feel good. They're like, how does that feel? I'm like, maybe bring up the legs a little bit more. And then you walk away. I do the same thing. I do the same thing at the massage chair people. They go, are you looking to buy these? And they know I don't want to buy them, so they're really...
What are you looking for massage chairs at?
At the state fair. They have a whole tent for it.
I've never been to a state fair where they're selling massage chairs, I guess.
But, I milk them for all they got. I'm like, get me all the good settings, and then I walk away.
That's awesome.
It's really fun.
Well, this is why it's the worst part of my week is because I didn't walk away. He's like, he was like, I can get you down to 45. And I said, I literally told him,
I thought you were stronger than this.
I thought I was too, but I was like, I thought I was getting a good deal. In that moment, I was like, oh, I'm getting a good deal here. And then I'm like, I literally told him, I was like, we're already this far. I'm this far, and we've come this far. Let me just $45. Yeah. This better be a good pillow. And then I came home, and I was like, feeling good about myself. And I told my...
And you lay on the pillow for the first time?
I told my dad, and he was just like, dude, you got swindled so hard.
Was it comfortable?
It is a comfy pillow.
Okay.
Yeah. We slept on it last night.
Well.
Gabe attested. It was a comfy pillow.
So the worst part of your week was the overpriced pillow.
Yeah, it was I'm pissed. You know when somebody swindles you? That's not a good feeling.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. So yeah, that was the worst part of my week.
Okay.
So...
You really got this thing structured.
I do have it pretty structured.
And we're not allowed to talk about movie stuff? Should we say how we met? What have we been doing for the past 4 years?
We could get to that at the end.
Okay.
There's don't worry. There's a section for that.
This is all about personal stuff.
There's a section for that.
Okay, fair enough.
Just
I'll be patient.
Okay. So now I've got a bunch of questions.
Sure.
That I like to ask people, and we'll sort of bounce between a bunch of different questions. First one is that what is something that I don't know about you, and because it's sort of like what's something that most people don't know about you, but what's something that you know that I don't know about you? Because I have
That's going to be really hard.
I know. I have, it could be, fun fact. Really small, because mine's kind of a small fun fact.
I'll tell you what, my go-to, whenever it's, some BS, when you, are in a class for the first time, and it's like, all right, guys, say your name and 3 things about you.
I like doing that. Cause it's
I hate doing it.
I love doing it, because it's
the
only
everyone
thing
has
that I know
their go-to
about.
answer that they've been doing since 3rd grade.
Yeah. No, I changed mine up.
I don't. Mine is I ate a 2-pound burger. When I was 10.
A lie?
No, it's straight up true. It was a pound of bun, you ever been to Bub's? It's right there. Oh, it's real good. But, I mean, it was so big and I was so small that I wet the bed that night because it was all sitting on my bladder. This is true.
That doesn't make any sense.
It was, I ate 2-pound burger.
I pissed my pants.
I can't explain the science behind it. I'm just telling you what happened.
You ate the burger in the daytime and then at nighttime.
Yes. Yeah. But it was dinner. You know what I mean?
I fear that has nothing to do with it.
I don't usually wet the bed, thank you very much.
At 10 years old.
At 10 years old, no.
I will tell you, this is also, to go off of that, this is something that you might not know about me, is that I used to wet my pants well into elementary school.
That's way more embarrassing.
Whatever. Well, you're about to eat your words because you know why.
Why?
Because I had seizures.
Oh. Not me feeling bad now.
Which is, I guess if you know that about me, I would have I don't know what you call it. They would what do they call them, staring spells.
Okay.
Staring spells. And they wouldn't be spasms or anything, but when I would have a staring spell, all my muscles would just loosen. I would piss my pants every day I went to school.
Wow, that is wild.
That wasn't my fun fact.
So did you walk into school with wet ass pants and was just hey, what's up, guys?
Usually it would happen at the end of the day, and I would go to the nurse and have to wear some stranger's pants home that day.
Why did those pants always smell so bad too? You know what I mean? When you get a shirt from the
I didn't realize it until I was talking about this when I grew up, but I was like, oh, those are donations. People donated those.
I thought they were just stuff that got left behind.
I'm pretty sure. What are they gonna that goes in the lost and found.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, who's gonna leave behind a pair of pants? No, they're donations. So people, out of the goodness of their heart, they donate, and then I wear them and I piss in them.
Wow.
Anyway, that wasn't my thing that you didn't know about me. Was that your thing?
I'm gonna go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's also about me?
No, mine is also pretty simple. But I've always wanted a pet bird.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I don't know. You said we talk a lot, maybe, but
I don't know.
That's going to be a hard question for you two.
I know.
Of what you don't know about each other?
For the video or audio listeners, Gabe is off camera. Gabe is also my boyfriend. He's also
there we go. You get a little bit of context. There we go. The context. You're a good podcaster, see?
Yeah. Well,
Episode 1, we're figuring it out.
I think everyone who's going to be on here knows that about me already.
Mic for sure. Sorry, what?
I'm assuming that anybody who
watches true. It's a Friends podcast.
They're already going to know that I'm dating Gabe because I never shut up about him. But anyway, moving on. That's gonna happen a lot during our episode, which.
What, you just going?
I'm so nervous. Okay. I had a sentence that I was going to say to preface this question, but then I realized I probably can't preface this question.
Okay, uh-oh.
What is a friendship turn off? Or a friendship or a friendship turn on? Like, I already know mine, and you know mine bad.
A friendship turn off because I'm such a...
I don't think you have any. You are friends with the worst.
That is horrible to say. I disagree.
Okay, I'm just kidding. But you make friends with all.
I do. I can pretty much make friends with anybody.
I know.
But I'll tell you, this is sort of an obvious answer. But if someone's hard to talk to, you know what I mean? If I'm sitting there and there's just nothing, like nothing's coming, nothing's flowing. I don't think
it's going to be hard for you to talk to anybody, but for them to talk
because
to
I'm a certified yapper.
Yeah.
But I'd say another turn off is when they don't let me talk. You know what I mean? I'm such a, so maybe that one. I don't know. But then again, I am friends with a lot of certified yappers, so. There's
nothing like that someone will do or say that you're like, oh, you're not the kind of person I want to be
the thing is, it's kind of hard to I don't know. It all depends. I guess common interests. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's not interesting, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you're talking about sports, I don't give a crap about that. I'm going to, you know what I mean? See ya.
But, I don't know. You'd still be friends. Isn't Gabe into sports? Other Gabe?
I can deal with whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I actually don't know. I just assumed that about him. What's a friendship turn on?
When they ask questions about me so I can talk more. Why do you think I'm the first guest on this podcast, motherfucker? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. A friendship turn on.
Easy to talk to?
I guess easy to talk to, even though that's almost the inverse of what I already said. I would say just like, shared common interests, right?
Yeah.
That way you have something to talk about.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I'm realizing all of the friends that I know that are your friends are also just movie people. So, that makes sense.
Yes.
My friendship turn off. Do you guess what my friendship turn off is?
What?
I've definitely said.
Well, there's a lot for you. There's a lot of friends. The thing about Samaya is that you have to, it's not.
You gotta convince me to befriend you.
It's not guilty, it's not innocent until proven guilty, it's guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say your turn off is just selfishness, maybe?
That's a good one.
I would say
that's actually a good one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Selfishness and narcissism.
That's what I thought. Well, why are you friends with me then? No, I'm kidding.
Well, one of them is the most obvious that I feel like I've talked to you about is people who are really, really, really into zodiacs.
Yeah.
Or in, like, crystal girlies and things like that. If people, like, it's so fine, like, it's fine. If it's literally not hurting anybody, then it's, like, whatever. But some people are to the point of, like what's your sign? Oh, are you a Gemini?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a Gemini. Some people will be like, oh, you're a Gemini, I will not be friends with you.
Well,
or, like, I won't
Gemini's actually a bad sign, actually.
See, really. That's what I've been told, and I'm also a Gemini.
We're both Gemini.
That's how I knew you were Gemini, because we both in...
That's right. Oh, my God. I was wondering why you said that one. Yeah, that people hate us.
Yeah, people do not like Gemini. Maybe that's why I don't like
Maybe that's why we don't like the sign. We're supposed to be two-faced, apparently.
I know. And it's also... No, you weren't born in the year of the snake, were you?
I was 2002 because I'm OG, really. Yeah.
Anyway, people also say about the year of the snake because they're like, oh, you're a snake and a Gemini and a June Gemini. Oh my God, you're the worst person. I'm like, okay, you actually just have. I haven't said a word yet.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And people who are just like way too into that to the point of like it literally changes the way they behave around other people. or the way they interact with other people is crazy to me.
Yeah. I've never met anyone who's taken it super seriously.
You have? You just haven't asked the right questions.
Okay, you're probably right. I mean, we probably can think of person who believes that. But I'd say the majority of people who I talk to who, like, know a lot about it are, like, say it as a joke, and then they move on.
Yeah. No, usually, I think a sane person can take it the right amount and then let it be.
Yes.
And then also, additionally, they usually coincide are crystal people who are really into crystals. And I'm like, I have some rocks and stuff, and I'm like, oh, they're pretty, and they're cool, and they're, like, nice and pretty. But, like, people who carry them around, like, this is going to protect me, that's crazy.
No.
That's a hot take, too. I feel like some of my friends might be crystal people. Well, but that is really, like...
C'est la vie.
I don't know. You can believe what you want to believe.
Bro's got crystals in your inventory. I'll call it a waste of space, to be honest with you.
Okay. And, okay, so this is just so that the viewers and our listeners and people that don't know you can get, like, a real sense of who you are if they haven't already.
I'm a Gemini. Just kidding.
That's enough said. Yeah, it means nothing. What is something that is so important to you? And I know your answer, but I'm going to just ask you anyway. What is something that is so important to you or fundamental to your being?
Well, it's pretty clear.
Okay, so let's say a few things. Give a few things.
Well, I would say my movie would be the number one. Movies. Well, can you say for the record of what my fundamental flaw is? Because I feel like it does say a good amount.
Your fundamental flaw?
Yeah.
Is that you love movies too much.
Well, the one that we were talking about with Molly is that I'll never love anyone more than I love my own shit. Whoops. I don't know, though. I don't know if that's just what you've said about me.
It seems that way. Well, I don't know. Do you think you've proven that to be wrong, or?
I think with my actions, I've proven it to be true, but unfortunately, with my emotions, I wish it wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, fatal flaw. That's what I was thinking. Your fatal flaw is that you'll never love anything more than you love.
I don't think there's really anything I else need to say other than that I like.
That is fundamental to your being. Yeah. Like, if you were straight on an island, it was like, what's the one thing I would bring? Movies. Kind of thing.
My camera.
Yeah. Making movies instead of watching movies. See, that's the difference there.
That is the big difference, because a lot of people, including your boyfriend and our friend John, got into filmmaking because they liked watching stuff.
Yeah. And
I got into it because I just liked making stuff. Like, since I was like, I making stuff. It doesn't, even before, like, it was movies, it was, the burning desire for creativity. I guess weird. Well, that's kind of you, though, no?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what you're doing with your podcast now, I'd say.
Oh my God, you're so right. Yeah, for me, creating used to just be like, I don't know, drawing.
Right, that's what it was for me when I was 2. From 2 to 5, it was like art.
Yeah.
From like however it was.
You used to do like drawing and shit like that.
Right.
When you were little, right?
But I'm not good at it anymore.
Well, that's okay.
All right, next.
Well.
Was that not that
something that is fundamental to me.
Next.
And I think you know this, but I'm gonna say, and everyone knows this, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Really? That's like your go-to?
That's the thing. Huh. There is nothing on this earth besides Gabe, my love, that I love more than Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is literally perfect. Like, there's nothing more perfect.
Is the live action show out now?
Yeah, it is.
Have you seen it?
No, I refuse.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's that looks Scarbo. But you know this too, that's the reason why I write. It's the reason why I draw. It's the reason why I have any creative outlet.
Sure.
It is my literally only inspiration for doing anything. Like, you know, the thing that I read in scriptwriting class, the thing that I wrote for it, was purely just from the inspiration I got from Avatar.
Right. I remember that thing. I liked that movie.
I reread that recently. It needs some work, but... And, okay, so now we can move on to our other topics. Topic number 1, just is relationships.
Oh, okay.
So this can mean romantic relationships.
Oh, okay, good. It's more than just...
Friendship relationships, or it could just be whatever.
Okay.
So, what's new with you?
I have a girlfriend now. Why?
That's crazy! Hey, Carla!
How are you doing? I told her I was going to be on this.
Yeah, I know.
I told her like last night. Because we finally got it pinned down.
Oh, yeah, well, no, she knew about it when I met her.
Right. She doesn't. Well, I'm going to not.
Gotcha. So Max has a girlfriend, and that's for anyone who knows Max. She knows it's crazy.
Not a usual
That's
occurrence.
crazy. Congrats. How's that been going?
I think it's been going good.
I think so too.
You actually like her.
I like her a lot.
Not that you wouldn't.
When we met her for the first time.
If she listens to this, she's gonna flip.
I
in
hope.
a good way.
Yeah, no, I hope. Girlfriend mentioned. When we met her, me and Gabe, after we left, literally one of the first things I said was like, I think she's too good for her.
That's what you said.
Not in the way of like.
But I told her that. I said I knew you would say that in like a sibling way, in like a sistery way. Yeah. Right.
And not like a you're a bad person and you deserve like a worse kind of person. I mean like she's like so mature and just. Well,
that's what I've realized over the past like month.
She's
2
like
months.
Perfect.
It's been like girls are generally far more mature than guys.
No, I think most people are far more mature than you.
That's what I was gonna get to, but
right.
Generally, I think like girls women, I guess, develop so much like faster.
Yeah.
Like I still feel 16.
I feel still 16.
My taste is still as if I'm 16. Like the music that I listen to, the movies that I make, it feels like a 16-year-old is making this crap, and and then I'll like. Yeah, and then I'll be with, like, a girl who's, like...
Actually, her age.
Yeah, like an adult. Like, it feels like...
First of all,
I don't know, I feel like a kid.
It is worth mentioning that it is, like, women do mature faster.
No, it's a scientific thing, yeah.
But also,
I'm going to take a little bit longer, I feel like, too. I don't know, I feel like I'm behind.
I just said this to one of my friends the other day. It's like, I was like, I'm turning 24 this year, which is crazy because I'm still 16. How am I turning 24 but I'm still 16?
I know. It's like, well, you're older as hell. I'm not that old.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
I do like I don't know how to cook. Like I genuinely like I don't know how to make food. You should talk to like my roommates in Los Angeles. Again, this is I can't go on a podcast without talking about my movie shit.
Go ahead.
They always say that like my roommates in Los Angeles said I put like 100% experience points into filmmaking and 0 into anything else. Yeah. And that is like how people usually describe it.
Can Carla cook at least?
Oh, she's good.
I was gonna say, if you guys both can cook,
good.
y'all are not eating. Because I know
she's
you can,
good.
but you need to learn how to cook.
I do. I've been trying.
I don't think I can cook very well either.
No, you don't know me, bro. You don't know me.
I know I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you for a fact. But
for a fact, it's crazy.
I'm not too good either. I just made it for Valentine's Day. For Valentine's Day, I gave a cherry pie. Yeah. And I spent like the days leading up to it just watching a bunch of videos on how to make cherry pie and looking at a bunch of recipes, and I was like, I got this.
Carla was sick, and she wanted soup, so I bought a can of soup, and I put it in the pot too long, and it got too hot, and she had to wait like 30 minutes to eat it. I literally had one thing to do, and it was heat it up. That's all I had to do. There wasn't even an extra cup of water I had to put in.
I thought you were going to say you put the can in the microwave.
No, I wouldn't do
that. No, that's messed up. Anyway, I was saying with the cherry pie, you'd think it would turn out good, right?
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It did not. I've never made a pie before. It's still in the fridge.
We kind of are like siblings in a weird way.
The thing is, like, I think I'm good at like what I know. I've never made a pie before, and I've eaten, I've eaten a couple pies. Most recently, this past Thanksgiving, I think, is when I had like the most experience with pie. But anyway, yeah, it tastes like ass. It was the crust was.
Anyway, that's a clip right there. Anyway, it tastes like ass.
The crust was not cooked through. I forgot to put the egg wash on it, and I put it on after I baked it, and so it was raw eggs on top.
Dang, bro, you gotta get yo crap together.
Oh, and then the cherries were not sweet at all. It was just so sour. Right. So I'm not too good, but I know like I can make eggs.
I hope the eggs are not that hard. Okay. I can still screw them up though.
That's messed up.
Sometimes, they're like there's a. Let's move on.
I know what you were about to say. The snot part of the eggs.
I don't know, bro. Okay. It's all hard to do.
It's not that difficult. Anyway. Talking about relationships with your friends, how do you feel you've like done within your relationships for the past year?
In the past year specifically?
Yeah, like maybe the progression. Because that's why I started this whole thing is
right.
Because I recognized that I wasn't doing good. And
interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't know if this is a bad thing. I feel like there are certain people who are met, and I'm not talking about anyone who I've like met or known in the past like 4 years or whatever, like in college. But like there's a time in your life for certain people, and this is again, I roll what my movie's about, you know what I mean? Yeah. But there's like certain people who are meant for a certain time in your life. Yeah. And then you don't, you kind of grow out of those people. Oh, so, I have a little bit of like, I feel bad about the people that I've left behind, but at the same time, I know it's natural to do.
Yeah, it was meant to be that way.
Right. They're not meant for your whole life. Like there are very few people who are like meant to be with you your entire life almost. At least friendship-wise, I think. So, I don't know. I feel like I've been doing good. I don't know if that's something I necessarily struggle with, though.
I think I've talked to you about...
Sounds like you're not doing too good, though.
I'm really good at mine and Gabe's relationship. I think this is the healthiest relationship I've had in my entire life.
Friendship
agree
relationship. With that.
It's like... I was just talking to my siblings today, and I was just like, isn't it crazy how some people aren't happy in their relationships? Right. I was like, that's crazy to be with somebody that you don't think you're going to, like, just be with forever is just, like, or is going to end bad. Or so, I don't even know. Like, one of my friends, she's sort of in a tough situation, and it's not made any better by her, like, really toxic man.
Right.
And I was like, that's crazy.
It's wild.
I don't know, but, so that's been good. But, like, friendships, I think, are so much harder than romantic relationships, because romantic relationships, I feel like there's a science to it. I feel like there are answers, because it's like, communicate.
Right.
There are answers, but like when it comes to like friendships and stuff, there's so many things I struggle with. It's like whenever one of my friends, it's like you're going through a hard time, I'm like, I don't know what you need. Do you need space, or do you need advice right now, or do you need just somebody to listen to?
If someone's going through a hard time.
Yeah, because it differs for so many different people, and it's so hard keeping like so many different connections. Like, right. I think, like, 5 friends is, like, too many. I'm like, already that's overwhelming. 5 is, like, so many.
That's crazy.
5 friends is so...
I've seen 5 friends in a day before.
See, this is why this is a topic for you.
Okay.
It's because, like, when I was in high school, I had, like, a friend group of, like, 15 people, and we were all really, really good friends. And then after COVID, I was just, like, not the same person.
Well, the thing is, you kind of go through phases. Yeah. You know what I mean? You become a new person every 2 or 3 years.
You talking about me in specific?
Yes. Only you in specific.
You saying me in specific every 6 months.
I'd say generously 2 years, maybe a year.
Yeah. I think every 6 months.
You're just a new person.
6 to 9 months is just
and it's like some kind of like hard reinvention. It's not like a gradual thing.
Well, when I started work, I probably told this to you too, because I tell this to everybody, is like when I started this new job that I have, half of the reason why I did this place instead of like another one or something was because I was like, I feel like I'm going to vibe with the people there and I want to make friends. Because all my friends after college, I mean, everyone was gone. And so I was like, I need it somewhere that I'm able to make friends. And the people that I work with are the only people, the people that I work with are the only reason why I'm still working there.
Right. That's actually crazy, because the majority of stories that you hear are people hating their coworkers.
I know. There are some coworkers I'm like, meh about.
Right. As I'm sure there is with all jobs.
But I'm shocked that there aren't more. Like, it's most of the people that I work with, I'm just like actually really, really good friends with now. And that's why I'm like, I feel really good about myself, because I'm like, I made some real connections, and I think that's just crazy. And they're going to be on this, they're going to be right there.
I know, which is why you got to kind of drop the store eventually, where you're at.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to dox...
at the front, you didn't hear it.
You did? Yeah. Because you're going to dox all my coworkers that come on, too, then.
Well, sorry about it. Don't tell them where we're coming. We're live from Connecticut, you know? Like, you know?
Live from Connecticut, for real. Okay, well, any more thoughts on relationships?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah. That kind of goes into my New Year's resolution I was talking to you about. My New Year's resolution was with the relationship and stuff.
Yeah.
I love New Year's resolutions. You don't like them?
It's not that I don't like them. It's like, I kind of don't need them. You know what I mean? I kind of get my stuff done.
Wow.
I don't know. Is that crazy? Is that a hot take?
Somebody quote you on that. I kind of don't need them.
I don't think... I'm infamous about like saying stuff on podcasts that I regret, and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's
we're gonna get to a section where you might.
Oh, okay. Maybe thankfully I can recount. Yeah.
So you don't have any New Year's resolutions?
No. Well, I had one to start journaling more, and I didn't do it at all. So maybe I do need them. But then again, I didn't do it, so what's it gonna make a difference about?
I don't know. I'm someone who really likes New Year's resolutions and New Year's in general.
Okay, so what are yours?
Mine was to read 4 books. Because last year I read 3. And okay. I know everyone's like, oh, that's such a small amount. I read like 12 books in a year.
Yeah.
Most people read more than 3 books a year.
I'd say most people, our generation, don't read anything.
Yeah. It's either like I'm really bookish or I'm really like I'm not. Mm-hmm. But I'm like dyslexic, which I've gotten better at. But when I was younger, especially when I was learning how to read, I wouldn't read shit. Because I'll be like, I can't do it. I'm just not going to do it at all. I'm going to avoid it for the rest of my life. And when I was in elementary school, I was always like a couple grades under my reading level. Yeah. And I remember I'd be in the library reading my reading level book and seeing my like peers be reading like 12th grade. And I'm like, what am I doing here, man?
The thing is, like, I'll be reading a book and I don't know, I just have too much ADHD for it. I'll get distracted or by an idea and then want to go do something else, or make my own thing, with
that too, but also it's just like, oh, I don't know this word. Let me look up that word real quick. Oh, I don't know this word.
I've never done that. I skip over every word I don't know.
Wow.
See ya. I'm gonna guess by the context clues. That's what they taught me in school.
By the context, I like to have all the words that I don't know just written down. That way, I'm like, oh, I'm learning, and then I don't remember them. So then it just reinforces like, oh, reading always made me feel really stupid, and that's why I was like, I'm just not gonna do it. And I'm like, oh, that's actually the opposite of what I should have been doing.
Okay.
Is like reading. So that was my other New Year's resolution. I have finished the book that I started last year.
Wow, you actually wrote a book?
No. Reading. Did I say writing?
No.
I finished the book that I started reading last year.
Oh, okay.
And then I started the next one. So I'm off to a pretty okay start.
Okay.
Anyway. How are we doing on time? Where are we at right now?
42 minutes.
Let's go. Okay, look, this is going pretty well.
I'm loving it.
This is going pretty well. Because this is pretty up.
It does not feel like 40. Whenever I'm on a podcast, it never feels like 42.
Yeah.
It never feels the time.
No, this is one that I like to ask. I'm going to be really excited to ask everyone who comes on.
Okay.
And I actually realized, I don't think I know your answer, but do you believe in ghosts?
Oh my god.
To take a really drastic turn.
And this is open for change. I'm always open for change, but I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I do believe in like energies. You know what I mean?
I've heard that before. That's a lot of what people say is like, oh, I don't like. They're not exactly like.
No.
Yeah.
But I think there's like, I don't know.
You gotta admit there's something.
Too hippy dippy here.
No, do it. Because I feel like a lot of people aren't gonna agree. I agree. Because I say I believe in ghosts, but even that, it's like I don't even know how to define ghost. Because there's another theory that's like, it might not be like people who are dead, but like timelines crossing over, and it's like literally the 4th dimension of like time overlapping from another dimension, which sounds crazy.
Right? No.
But I think is actually the most like plausible.
Right. I mean, to me it's like almost to the degree of like, you walk into a room and you can just feel the certain energy in there, or maybe even in objects, and like. Drug use does not help that. You know what I mean? You can really, like, you can pick up on that stuff a lot and feel how energies change a whole environment.
One thing that I heard was, like, there was a story that somebody shared that was, like, hauntings are just traces of energy, whether it was good or bad. Hauntings, like, events. And they said there was this, they went and visited this one, I think it used to be some kind of battleground or something like that, and where it had in some war or something like that there was a troop of men, and once they heard like the war was over, or once they had like won over something or something like that, they celebrated for like days, and the cheering could be heard, whatever.
Sure.
And they visited that place on the anniversary of that, and they were like, we could hear the men cheering.
Right, you hear stories about that, yeah.
Whereas like they weren't dead, they didn't die there. They don't know what happened.
What a weird question. What made you want to ask this question?
I love hearing people's answers, because it tells me so much about a person if you do or do not believe in ghosts. Like, being a skeptic is so, like, a personality trait, I feel like.
Yes. I'd say I don't believe in ghosts, to answer your question.
But you believe in, like, something.
Yeah.
What? So you wouldn't be scared, like, ghost hunting?
I've been ghost hunting. I've been to the sanatorium. There's a sanatorium in Kentucky.
The Waverly?
I don't know. Is that what it's called?
Sanatorium.
I think so. But I went in there and, big ol' hoax.
You didn't see anything or
No, I didn't see anything. What do you think, a ball's gonna go across the room? That's movie magic, bro. That's not real.
Who'd you go with?
My mom. My mom and my aunt and my friend Joe.
They're believers or skeptics as well?
They all just sort of wanted to, I mean, I think a lot of people just go for the architecture. Like, it's really cool architecture, and it's, like, abandoned.
You went during the day?
No, during the night.
Yeah, so you didn't go for the architecture. You went for the
Well, you can sort of see, you know, I don't know. It was a ghost thing. I don't know. I went to go see the...
What did you do? Because my follow-up question is, share your experiences, and this sounds like an experience you could share.
It was boring. I took a picture of me pretending to crap in, like, a toilet. That was it, and it looked really cursed, and it was funny.
You don't have any other, like, run-ins with a ghost?
No, I don't think so. I'd be interested to hear other people's stories, though.
I'm interested
but I don't
to hear
believe any of them.
I only have a few, so I'm not going to say them all, because I want to, like, save some for some other episodes. Yeah. And most of my belief comes from not even things that I've experienced, things that other people have experienced. Because my thing is, like, in this case, comes with the same thing, religion, too. Sure. Is like, I believe that you believe that. Like, for sure.
Right.
For sure that I believe that happened to you, and, like, the way that you're saying that things happen, 100% I'm believing you, I'm trusting you. But when if it's, like, to me, I'm like, okay, I am either going to get creeped out, or be like, oh, that was just, like...
The thing is, like,
logic my way out
people of it. Will, like, say, like, a story, and it'll be like, oh, I was thinking about my grandma, and then, like, I found a picture of her under my bed. Like, that cannot be a coincidence. I'm like, yeah, it can be. I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like a huge coincidence to me. But, like, I'm not gonna, you know. Yeah. And that's an extreme example, but, like, I feel like everything could be a coincidence. You know what I mean? Not only
coincidence, but, like, a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
And also...
I appreciate that we're both ghost non-believers here.
There are aspects to it that I don't believe in that I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. A couple of the things... have you seen, like, the little... Like, the rods that cross? Have you seen those?
Yes.
That I'm iffy about. The one thing that I definitely don't believe is orbs. Do you know the whole orbs thing?
No, I don't even know what this is.
It's like when you're recording.
Oh, okay, yes, I've seen that. Yes, I have seen
this. You literally know that happens.
Yeah.
With lights and camera, that's a thing that's dust.
Right.
And then sometimes people will be like, oh, well, it moves like a living thing. I'm like...
Dude, the UFO people, I just, like, can't.
Oh my God. Well, that brings me up to something, too. Let me see where I wrote this down. Did you ever think that there were monsters in your room?
Sure, yeah.
I always thought that there were aliens in my room.
Ooh, that's way more interesting.
I don't know. I realized this recently, and this is one of my intrusive thoughts questions that I had.
Yeah.
Was like, what scared you as a child? Because if it was ghosts or, like,
it was
monsters
more like
or,
home invasion for me.
Real things.
Like a robber, yeah.
Real things. Like people, humans.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I always thought I was really, really scared of being kidnapped. And at night, I couldn't sleep because I would hear, I'm like, there's someone in the house. I hear the footsteps. And I would never be like, good. I would be like, alien.
What?
I would be like, that's an alien in my home. And I'm going to get abducted.
That's crazy.
There was one time I was in 6th grade. Oh my God. And I
goes through your window.
I believed this till this day. And then I thought about it recently and I was like, that was so ridiculous. I was in my bed and I was on a bunk bed, okay?
Yeah.
And I was on the top bunk, and nobody was in my room. I don't know, I shared a room with my older sister, but at that point, she wasn't there that night, I guess. And I had my little brother, Asuda, was little toddler, and I think was just learning how to walk, and my parents were downstairs, and I was laying on my bed trying to go to sleep, and I would, like, I heard, like, footsteps, like, pacing footsteps, like, just back and forth, and you know, like, you can hear when, like, you're on a top floor and, like, the carpet, like, kind of goes down, like, that, like, step.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if you're doing Foley, you know, you hear the difference in, like, whatever, and I heard footsteps, like, tracing back and forth, and, like, almost as if they were, whatever it was, like, dragging something, and it sounded like if Asuda could walk, it sounded like Asuda dragging a blanket. Like, that's how I was reasoning it in my brain. Asuda walking back and forth, dragging a blanket. And I was like, okay, that is really weird, but if I open my eyes, I'm going to make it worse for myself. So I was like, I'm just going to keep my eyes closed. And then after, like, it felt like 30 minutes, I hear, like, the creaking of, like, the ladder up to my bed. And, like, just sort of, like, it stops, and then I hear the ladder up to my bed. I'm like, no way. Like, this is it for me.
We are here to abduct you, Savannah.
And then, what's worse is that, you know, whenever, like, someone's next to you, you can feel, like,
get the hell out of here.
I feel that. on my feet, where my feet are by the ladder, and I feel.
I'm cooked.
I feel that come down.
I'm sprinting.
And I start screaming at the top of my lungs. And moments before that happened, my like hand started to go numb, and I was like, oh, these are like the alien gun rays, like that are numbing my hands or something. Which it was probably just I was laying on my hand. My hand just happened to go numb. But I was like, there's an alien that's here to get me. And I don't know why I thought it was an alien and not a ghost, because that sounds more like a ghost story. But I just thought it was an alien. And then my dad came up and he was like, what's going on? I was like, there was an alien in my room.
And he's like, good night.
He was like, okay, you're cooked. Anyway, so that's fine.
That is a wild alien story about the ghost question.
Well, we're kind of skipping around here because it's all kind of
Let me ask you this: are you going to answer these questions every time? I guess the weak one, you know what I mean? Or you know, does that make sense?
Am I going to answer my own questions? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, it's a conversation.
Well, some of them are like, do you believe in ghosts? Or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
are you just going to tell a different alien story? You know what I mean? Like every time.
I have a few. Don't worry. I'll share my stories.
Okay. Hell yeah.
But you said you don't.
You must have a lot of content on aliens. I love it.
I have
in general.
I have another great alien one, which is gonna make me sound crazy, but we'll move on. So in that vein, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have any phobias or like your greatest?
I don't like rodents. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of creepy. But I don't know if
like
there's
rats?
anything else. Yeah, like rats and mice.
I
and
actually
stuff like
didn't know that about you. I knew that about Ben. Ben hates rats.
Yeah, but other than that, not really. Maybe all my footage will get deleted.
Yeah. I don't think that's like an irrational fear though.
Do you have, like, I don't think so. I don't think there's irrational. No.
I don't know this about myself. I don't think I have irrational fears either. I think mine are pretty based.
Yeah.
My only
based.
my only like real one that I think is like fear of incurable injury.
Interesting.
Like,
I think about. My thing is, I think like 15 minutes into the future at all times. Okay. You know what I mean? Sorta.
Okay.
For things that like, I can't worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, so there's no point in like.
Oh, I have no control over it, so I shouldn't worry.
Right.
But I ride. So I ride longboards and shit.
Right.
And so whenever you fall, there's always that thought of like, this might be my last ride. And that's
yeah, you're falling in slow motion as your head hits.
I did. Oh my god, that one big fall that I had.
I remember that.
That one was crazy. My knee swelled up to the size of a golf ball, and I was like, that's a bone in there for sure. I was so scared. Anyway. I was asking a couple people at work what their phobias were, and they were really interesting, so I thought I'd throw that in.
Okay.
Oh, and other, I guess this is of the same vein, but like greatest fear. Like not necessarily a phobia, but like something I like dread and I'm scared of.
Whew, we're getting deep on the pod.
I know.
Here. What's yours? I want to hear yours first.
Getting old.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of like.
Cause I mean, something about like my 23rd year in life, I was like, time is unending.
Have you seen The Substance?
No, and I refuse.
It's so good.
I refuse. Cause that's gonna freak me out.
But that's what it's all about. It's all about.
I know, old. But I don't want to be freaked out.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a really good one. Interesting. Getting old. Tell me about that.
I don't know. Like, I always start my days and I'm like, oh my god, I'm in my bed right now. And then I blink and I'm at work, and then I blink and I'm back home.
That I get.
And it's like time is like moving so fast and I can't stop it.
You know what helped me do that?
What?
Journaling. Journaling helps slow down time, because then you're like, oh yeah, I did do all this stuff today. Yeah. I forgot everything.
Yeah. But I just know that this moment is going to be one of those moments when I look back at 50 years and be like, that just felt like it was 2 seconds ago.
Right. But then there's some things that feel like that happened at the beginning of 2024 that feel like 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Everything felt like just yesterday for me, or I don't remember it at all because I have a terrible memory.
Try journaling, because writing stuff down helps your memory.
I've been journaling since sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
And I used to journal very, very regularly, and it was really, really good. But then I stopped, and that was another one of my New Year's resolutions, to journal more often. I would journal like a couple times a month.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
Time was moving way too fast, and maybe it was just because I was under a deadline when I was editing Professor Black. So I started journaling to like slow down time, and it worked. But then once I got to LA, time moved too slow because I was making all these memories. So then I stopped kind of, and then I journaled a little bit during making of Ava. But you know, I don't know. Try that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying it. It's more so for, like, keeping my memory, because I'm really
That's what I'm saying. That's what it's good for.
And less for, I don't even know, but anyway. Moving on to the next topic.
Wow, we're speeding through.
Pet peeves. I have so many.
This is a good one for you, because I think you have a lot more than me. I don't know if I have a lot of pet peeves, really.
You do. I know one of them that you do.
Okay, what is it?
Phones on set.
I was very bad about that today on Gabe's set. I had my phone all day, yeah.
Wow.
But for other people, yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, I'll say a few of mine.
Okay.
If any of yours come to mind, let me know.
What?
These are some really, really bad ones I hate so much. Stupid pronunciations. Here are a few of them. Accessories instead of accessories.
Just like mispronouncing stuff,
Mispronouncing
right? Okay.
things. These are some of the worst. Costumes.
Sometimes you got to do it for fun, though.
No.
Maybe not.
I don't play about that. That's so annoying.
All right.
20 instead of 20.
Who is saying that? That's some millennial
people
stuff.
some of the podcasts that I listen to. It's so many people. It's like a regional thing that some.
Okay.
I feel like people in LA say 20 a lot. I hear that a lot from California.
Like
people in California say 20.
Say it again.
20.
What do you spell it?
CH.
Oh, Schwenny.
That's SH.
20. Oh, like a CH. Okay, I get it.
CHWENNY. Not even the T, like the 20. It's
That's so freaking specific, dude.
I hate it. I've heard it so many times. And then syrup.
No. That's a regional thing too.
I hate that though.
It's a regional thing.
Syrup.
Okay, but do you know what that means? You like syrup, don't you?
Yeah, I like syrup.
That means you're from the Midwest, bro. That means you're from like low key poor areas. Because me too, though. You know what I mean? That's a Midwest
syrup. Rich people be saying syrup.
I think that's syrup. What it is. I think rich people say syrup and we say syrup. I think so.
Why would that be the case? Why would that ever be the case?
Maybe I think it's just a regional thing, dude. I think it's a Midwestern and Southern thing, and then yeah, you know, like Canadians are for sure dropping syrup.
Yeah, Canadians are dropping syrup, but I'm talking like we're.
What?
We're in America. You say syrup.
You say syrup. Come on now.
We speak syrup. No. Another one is being late. I hate when people are late.
That is a bad pet peeve of yours, yeah.
I hate when people are late so much.
I used to, when I was young, I cared about that, but like the older I get, you know.
The older I get, the more I care about it. Because time, again, it's the thing of the time, you can never get that back. And it's like disrespectful of someone else's time to be like, oh, I'm going to be late and waste your time. Even if it's just like 15 minutes.
No, that's true.
I don't know. To me, I could be less annoyed about it. Like, it's a little invalid how annoyed I get about it. But at the same time, I'm like, I could never get those 15 minutes. You made me wait. You made me look stupid. I'm sitting here waiting for you for 15 minutes. Now you piss me off.
Yeah.
Anyway, my last one is, this one is the one I recently came to realize.
Okay.
Is that whenever, like, you're hanging out with somebody or even in a group or something and someone just gets on their phone.
I'm bad at that, too. I got a lot of stuff to do on my phone. I don't know.
See, and that's the problem. Is because you're prioritizing something that's on your phone rather than the people in front of you.
And I get that. And I don't usually do that.
That's so disrespectful to me.
Well, when I don't know. I get
I understand if your phone goes off and you're like, oh, this is like a text I need to respond to really quick. But if you like...
No, I
there's
understand.
like not a notification that goes off and you're like, let me just check Instagram while I'm in... Like, that's
while you're in a conversation?
While you are like playing a game together in a conversation with somebody. Even in a group setting where you're like, oh, I'm not the active... There's no way.
I just picked up my phone. I'm kidding. I had to go for the joke. What were you saying?
That was what pissed me off for real. See, now it's like, what were we talking about? I forgot. I checked my phone for 2 seconds and my brain got wiped. I got lobotomized real quick. No, that's messed up.
I should have played more into that. All right, continue though.
Anyway, those are my pet peeves. Any?
I don't know if I have a lot of pet peeves. Not that I can.
I think you need to have more.
Maybe. Maybe I do. I don't know.
I feel like I don't know. This might be a hot take, but people that don't have pet peeves to me, or like people who don't have anything that bothers them, I'm like, you're a doormat. Be bothered by something.
There are things that bother me, but it's more like, I don't know, it's like okay, I'll give you one. maybe like not being able to empathize with other people. Whoa, that gets on my nerves.
Whoa! I do that a lot.
I know you do. But yours, I understand where it's coming from. A lot of people, it's like
that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's like a really like good person one too, which is crazy.
If you can't empathize with another person or like understand like the context of a certain situation, it's like you're too dumb to be with me.
Yeah.
Or around me.
I think I've just realized that this year is something that I've come to realize is working in retail is like whenever a customer will get super mad or like do something really annoying and stupid and
I have another one now. You're giving me more as I.
Whenever someone will do that, I for the longest time I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get angry. This person's having a day, and you know who know like I literally don't know what's going on in this person's life.
That's what you got to understand though. Yeah, everyone has their own thing.
Just recently I came to that conclusion.
Bro, you're a little late on that one. I think being unself-aware is a huge pet peeve of mine too.
Give an example. What do you mean?
Of like someone who just can't read the room. If there's like, do you know what I mean? Like they walk in and like they'll like throw their whatever on something or like. I don't know. I think you get what I'm saying.
I get the vibe. Yeah. I listen to way too many Reddit stories, and so I'm connecting it to a lot of that kind of thing. Somebody's unself-aware. Wow. Yours are a lot more, like, personal than I thought.
I know, I thought so. Yeah.
Mine are like, you're pronouncing 20, and yours like, you have to have empathy. No. Okay, we already did one of my intrusive personal thoughts, which is the monsters in the room. But kind of going off of that, as a kid, did you ever have imaginary friends?
I think so. I don't really remember. I think it's like Bing Bong. They just disappear after a while.
And you don't notice?
Into the void, yeah.
How old were you?
I don't remember. I think it was like stuffed animals, you know what I mean? Who I'd create a character for.
Yeah, no, I'm talking imaginary. Like nothing was there.
That'd be tough. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think so.
Me and my siblings, we never had imaginary friends, and we would go to school, and we had friends who would say that they had imaginary friends, and we'd come home and be like, I don't know what they're talking. Like, we got scared for them. We were like, what are they talking about? Like, they must be, like, sick, like, something's wrong with them. And then at some point, it turned out, like, oh, something's wrong with me. I'm their age, and I'm, like, I need to have an imaginary friend. And me and my older sister, we made up our own imaginary friends, and we were like, we have to pretend that we are actually... Like, we created personas for them and everything, and we tried to pretend... We were like, oh, yeah, we have imaginary friends, and we didn't. And I was like, that was... so psycho.
A little bit, but it's whatever. I mean, I don't think it's a red flag for a kid.
I think it is scary. Imagine having a kid and your kid's like, oh, Bing Bong's in my room.
It would freak me out, but again, how many people have that though? That's got to be like a super common thing.
Imaginary friends?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty weird as a kid.
I can't remember having any. I don't know, probably though.
That's weird. I don't even know if I had, like, stuffed animals that I would, like, put personalities to.
Okay.
I would have, like, Barbie dolls.
Right. The action figures, of course, they had personalities. But, like, I'm, like, just a bear, you know what I mean? Then you create something out of it.
That's strange. No, my stuffed animals would just be like, oh, that's a stuffed bear or stuffed... I have a stuffed turkey. I still have it. It's my favorite toy ever. Anyway... Moving on. We're in the last leg.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
What a great podcast.
Time is moving so fast.
That's what I'm saying. We need to start journaling this right now.
Oh, okay. So, this is the part where we made a few movies together.
Yes. It's about time.
So, you could talk a little bit about that before I get into the questions and things like that.
Well, what do you want me to talk about? Just how we started, or?
Anything you want about any of the movies.
I'll just talk about our relationship.
Okay.
We had an article written, I think, about us, didn't we? About our relationship and...
Yeah.
I don't remember what that said, but I remember, like, a quote, I think... I don't know, this was always my go-to quote, was that we just read each other's minds.
Yeah.
There was a certain point when we directed our first movie together where we...
In sync. Just we're in sync.
I can remember exactly where I was, where we were on this staircase, and it was this big stone staircase, and... there's this performance that's going on, and it ends, we look at each other, without saying a thing, we convey like 10 different ideas. Yeah. And then within a second, I look back, direct the actor, and then we move on.
That was peak.
That was peak our relationship, yes. So that's how I described this for a long time, was that interaction.
Our first movie, for those who don't know, called Who Murdered Professor Black.
Yes.
I'll leave the link in the description below, as well as the article, which was very poorly titled.
What was it?
Black Voices.
I think that's just because that was the
segment.
That was the column.
Yeah, that was the column that was writing about us. But again,
I know what you mean.
Very
when I first saw it, I was like, "Whoa!"
You got the wrong people.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Yeah, and then we made our second one. We finished last summer.
Yes.
Last summer.
Isn't that crazy?
Again, time's moving too fast. I don't like it.
It does.
I mean, I'm glad that it's over. Thank God. Oh my.
Okay, let's get into this. Maybe this could... See, I have enough podcasts of me just talking about my other movies and stuff. I feel like we should talk about more specific stuff, in regards to...
This one was... I don't know. I don't know. I loved pre-production. I really enjoyed pre-production.
You freaking loved pre-production.
It was great. And then production came around, and I was like, I think my thing was I was ready to depend on people way too much.
Right.
And I wasn't able to.
Right.
And then that pissed me off so much where I was like, it literally made me angry, and I was like, I can't work. Like, this is making me angry to the point I'm like, I can't get anything done. And that really messed me up, and I don't know. I feel like maybe I wasn't, not that I wasn't ready, but I guess I didn't realize how, like, big...
Oh, it was huge.
To manage.
The thing is,
I knew it was gonna be big, but I didn't realize what that meant exactly.
The idea of the first movie was just to figure out if it was possible to do. So every time we finished, we were like, "Wow, we achieved something just by doing it."
Yeah.
The idea with this one is let's compete with the big dogs, and that was the goal of the last one, was to our standards were that high.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that wasn't. It wasn't, if we don't reach that quality, it's a failure.
I think what made it scary this time around was seeing you stressed out. Because for Who Murdered Professor Black, you were just like, let's just, we'll do it. And
there were some days.
There was one day in particular.
Dude, should we talk about some horrible set stories?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my God.
One day in Who Murdered Professor Black. That was bad.
Go ahead. I want to hear your description.
It was our biggest day.
Oh wait, can we say this? This is actually a really... I'm sorry. Now that we're talking about movies, my head is bouncing around.
Oh God, yeah.
You are the only person that exists on Earth that has seen me flip and scream and shout and throw a fit. I feel like a lot of people can't imagine that.
It was scary.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
I was shocked. I was like... Because the entire time I'm like, oh, Max is this unfeeling robot who just...
that's not true.
You just go and there's just nothing.
Just nothing can take me down.
Phase you. And so it was our biggest day in Who Murdered Professor Black, and we had 30 randoms coming in.
Yeah.
And people who were going to be working sound and light and things like that, and it was we had to... It took a lot for all of these people to come together
the biggest day of the summer, arguably.
And our main actor for the day. The whole scene revolves around this one actor.
The whole day. The whole 12-hour day.
Who was a hired adult professional actor. I won't name. Lived in Chicago. Didn't wake up on time. Was 5.
Well, no. That's not necessarily true.
Wasn't it?
He got 3 call sheets, and he looked at the latest. He looked at the later call sheet, that was technically our mistake, but.
There was the right one in there, but
I never wrote a call sheet after that day. I never wrote another call sheet.
He was 6 hours late.
Yes, but we figured it out.
Which I'm shocked.
And to be honest with you, the scene's fire. I love that scene still.
You gotta quit interrupting me. Okay, that was.
I can't help it.
I know you can't. So, as soon as we got
what is a Max freak out like?
Crazy. It's psychotic. It's actually it's scary in that it feels like you're watching somebody in a psych ward. Almost.
Holy shit.
Not in the sense of you're literally crazy, you're insane, you're psychotic.
But maybe
it's scary to that level. Of
interesting.
Of I don't know what to do.
I can remember there's one time, because there was a lot of them on Ava where I filled up. And that's the thing is no one knows except you, really. No one knows that I'm like breaking down. Like none of the actors know, none of the crew know.
I mean, that's what made it like it was like this is not
it's
a
all
fun
on you,
thing
really.
to go. And
I know. I'm
like,
sorry about that.
No. That's the job though. That's the gig. Yeah. You gotta get used to it, and I was just like emotionally not ready.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
But we did have it's not like that was our first time on this movie dealing with that. But like the time I can remember it like genuinely like kind of like you feeling it was the plane when the plane set was malfunctioning. Plane window day. Yeah, and then all those extras.
Honestly, that wasn't the worst day for me.
No, it wasn't the worst day, but that's the one where I could think of you like being like you were like, okay, I need to help, I need to do something. And
I flipped out on everyone.
Yes, you did. You flipped out on everyone, and then I kind of had to do damage control. I had to do damage control,
which was stupid because I'm like, if you would have, the people who I flipped out on,
they would have done their stuff.
There was a reason why I'm the one flipping out on you, not Max. Be grateful. It pissed me off. That's why it was just so many things.
But that's the thing is, I don't flip out on people. I flip out in general.
On me.
I don't know about on you. I flip out like crazy man on the phone to you.
To you, yeah.
To you.
Anyway.
That's crazy though. That's wild.
Making movies is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Oh, it's unreasonably hard. And people will never get it. I mean, people will never understand. It's really hard.
College, it like was a breeze compared to just going through the entirety of university. Yeah. Was just like people were like, oh, it was the most difficult time. No, making a summer movie
is the hardest thing.
Is the most crazy difficult thing I've ever done.
To like an incredible degree.
Yeah, it was so straining in ways that I didn't think it was going to be.
But no one will ever get that. That's the thing that sucks about like filmmaking, particularly like low budget student filmmaking, is that you're putting your heart on your sleeve and you're like exposing your diary to people fundamentally.
You know what's funny I just thought of too is the people who I work with who are also going to be guests is a lot of them. Well, at this point, I think some of them know, but I don't think they get it.
No one gets it.
It's like no. Like I'll be talking to people and they're like, oh, it was like a student film. Like it was like a 45 like student like poorly made.
Right. But they don't see how much work goes into
that. You actually don't get what I'm talking about. Right. When I say I made a movie, I actually mean I made a movie. Like you don't actually get what I'm talking about. Like,
no one gets it. My family doesn't get it. No one gets it.
It's just something that's just like, oh, sure you did. The
competition, the really unfortunate part is the competition that we have is like hundreds of millions of dollars of produced material. Like that's what everyone else sees.
That's what they're expecting.
Like if you just put our stuff next to any other thing that was made at Indiana University.
Not even that. I think this stands up to actual, and I hate to say like real movies, but like real Hollywood movies.
Well, wait, Ava will. Yeah, Ava will.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Not Who Murdered. Who Murdered. That's looking back on that.
Well, that's us learning how to do it.
Yeah. I'm proud of it. I'm still proud of it, very much so. And it is very like I don't know, something to be very proud of. Even though looking back on it now, it's just like
the thing is like Ava, we just figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like down to everything, even the premiere. This movie was made for a premiere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas Who Murdered Professor Black was just figuring out how to structure a movie and tell a story.
Premiering this thing.
It's going to be nuts if it happens. You know what I mean? I think it will.
If it happens.
Everyone's going to flip when I say that. Yeah, I know.
At this point, it's too late. Anyway. Okay, so last couple of things.
Sure.
Because we're in movies and stuff, and story writing and whatever, and
we just ranted about making movies for however long, and just...
Cut it. Anyway. What are some tropes you hate?
About movies in general?
Movies, stories, books, anything.
I hate, and I've talked to Jonathan about this, I hate the modern structure of film. And that, like, I mean, again, I don't want to go in and complain. I'm just going to try and keep it to this one thing about, like, just Hollywood in general. Is like, you go into a movie, like, I just went to go see this movie called One of Them Days with SZA and Keke Palmer. Great movie. But in the first 10 minutes, okay, unfortunately, an hour from now, they're going to be going through something hard. They're not going to be friends anymore. And then 15 minutes after that, some kind of like shitty set piece is going to happen, and then they're going to be friends again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I hate that structure. Like, there's more than one way. Like, why can you not, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying everything needs to be a negative character arc or something like that. But, like, I just wish... The Hollywood structure. The Hollywood structure of, like, literally I can, like, go down to the minute of when I know things are going to happen. And I know this is going to happen, and it's just way too predictable. And that's, like, the opposite of what you want to happen in a story.
I was thinking more... Which, I do agree. That's... Unfortunately, what Marvel especially has fallen into deep... And
that's always been to a degree like that, but they're really good at just the basics of it. I
think Marvel used to be really it always stuck to that kind of thing. It always did.
Yeah,
that was
not it's like the third act,
but it was really good at like, I don't know, it's like adverting that, and just sort of like actually getting to like Iron Man. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, Iron Man has that first movie has a fantastic structure.
It does. It is kind of predictable. It follows the standard whatever.
Until it gets to the battle at the end. It's pretty good.
It does it so well to where it's not all that you see.
And Guardians of the Galaxy operates the same way.
Yeah, where it's not so noticeable.
The thing is, you can use the formula. The second Top Gun movie uses the formula.
Second Top Gun Maverick?
Top Gun Maverick.
That movie sucked ass.
Not according to the like 2 billion people or whatever.
According to me, that movie was trash.
Anyway. It followed the structure, but it did it in such a way that it did it in such a good way that it works.
I disagree. It was so predictable. And also the whole romance between what's his name, Tom Cruise, and the other girl was so unnecessary.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
I think it was just simply for the...
Okay, we can't be movie critics right now, I don't think.
Okay. Anyway. What I was asking is tropes, like story tropes.
What are some that you hate?
Mine is miscommunication trope.
Oh, that's the worst.
I hate that. It's so, like, okay.
Yeah.
You really had no other ideas. Like, that's just so unoriginal. And then I saw this video from somebody who I never watched again, but it was a cinema channel who talked about a lot of, like, tropes in cinema. And there's one called Born Sexy Yesterday. Have you heard of it?
No.
Have you heard of it? Yeah? So, it's a trope that happens in movies where it's, like, something that is newborn, but... born like an adult.
Yeah.
And it's sexualized, and it's usually women. So that one movie, was it Fifth Element?
I didn't see Fifth Element.
You didn't see Fifth Element?
But I think Gabe's nodding. He knows what you're saying.
Yeah. And it happens a lot with, there was that one, Akira, I think did the same thing. Something sort of similar to, it's sort of in the Avatar, the Blue People movie.
Yeah.
Where he was born into this new body that is literally like newborn, but it's like born adult and grown, and it's treated as a grown adult. Which in that case, he is literally an adult who's embodying a new body. So it's not the same sort of thing. But the trope of is you can look it up. Born Sexy Yesterday. It's like this sexualized, like infantilizing and sexualizing at the same time.
Okay.
Which I realized, and I think it's the same sort of, it's something similar, but not similar.
I came up with another one.
Yeah.
When things in movies are too clean. When
like
everything...
footage?
No. Like costumes and sets. They're all like, they look like they got ripped straight out of the wardrobe department. Like...
What movie does that?
I just saw one recently. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like... you gotta have like a little grit and a little dirt and like make things look lived in. I hate when like someone wears a shirt and you're like, that clearly came from the costume department. Like
Hallmark movie.
Right. No, like literally. I don't know. That's another one that annoys me though.
It's not necessarily a trope, but
I guess it's not a trope.
Anyway, okay. We'll start wrapping things up now that we're like at an hour and some odd minutes. But okay. What have been the highlights of your... We were supposed to do this in January, so
the highlights
we were supposed to do
year.
Like the 2024 highlights of your year, or just the past year in general, I guess.
Well, 2024, and I said this from literally, like, I remember, I think it was December, like, 20, I don't remember when I came back from LA, but it was like, I remember driving back, I was in, like, Denver, and I was like, okay... From here, for the next 365 days, I have one job, and that is to make a movie, and that's what I did. That's all I did in 2024.
That's the highlight of your year?
I loved it.
Wow.
That's the thing, is like, as painful as both of those were, I still look back on them and I'm like, those are the best times of my life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, even if you didn't enjoy it in the moment.
Would you think she'd be saying that, however many months later? I mean, that's crazy for you to say that. Like, knowing how you experienced Ava, saying that it was like one of the best times, but it was.
Well, I think, again, to put it back to like the whole relationships thing, the reason why, even in the moment, if I was like, I don't want to be doing this, I look back and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad it's the people.
Yeah.
Being around people all day long, every day, and getting close to people and getting to know them, and just like in these very vulnerable situations where the camera's on you,
right,
and like you have to have emotion, and it's just something different.
As I don't know if I should say.
What?
Well, there's two things. The first one I can say, but Carter told me like he's never been in a group of people before where he likes everyone.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Where there's just one person who's like, this person gets on my nerves. Like that. He was telling me about that one time.
Carter's goated, by the way.
Goated, yeah. He's our.
Carter's the.
He might be on this podcast potentially in the future.
Yeah, no, I invited him on. I told him about it last week or yesterday, whenever it was. I told him about it, and I was like, dude, I can't believe I didn't tell you about this. Like.
But. The other reason that this one maybe I shouldn't say, but I have written 2 sequels to this movie during the time I've edited it.
Oh, no.
Just because I want to hang out with the people more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally just going back to that and like starting from the ground up and doing it again. Like I can't believe I'm saying it, but you know what I mean? You kind of want to do it again.
Yeah. Graduating was not a highlight of your year?
It was just something that I did, you know what I
mean?
Wow.
I think for me, graduating was...
It was the thing for you.
I literally... I think I told you about this, and I wasn't even being funny. Like, I stepped outside. It was such a beautiful day outside, and I was like, the grass is literally greener. The sky is so blue right now. I was seeing colors for the first time. I was so happy, because I remember there was that moment in first grade where I started hating school, and I came home, and I was like, how long does school go on?
Right, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, and I forget who told this to me, but they were like 13th grade above.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I remember every year I'm like, I'm only in 2nd grade. I'm only in 3rd grade. Up until 7th grade, I'm like,
Bro was hating it from the very
I was hating it from day one. Like, actually.
Yeah.
When I tell you I've hated school my entire life, I've hated schooling my entire life. College was honestly better than most of my schooling experience. Not by a lot.
I loved it.
College was great. In a different way.
I felt purposeless after I got out of school to a degree.
Yeah. I mean, working at where I work, I'm like, man, this shit is not fulfilling at all.
It was never like the hardest thing. Like, school was literally my entire life always the background of what I was doing.
Cannot relate. School was always like the thing for me.
School has always occupied like 10% of my brain, and then just I do all my other stuff. But the thing is, it's like, it was always a consistent of like, you know what I mean? There's always something.
Routine and...
Right. And now that you don't have that, you know, the other sort of 90% just floats around and, you know.
So graduating was great.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, I'm free. And then I'm still here, so I'm not really. But that was a highlight. And then making all the new friends I have. Highlight.
Really? At work and everything like that?
Yeah. Mushy highlight, I guess.
Wow. Way to end it on a mushy note. We're not going to end it yet, though.
We have 2 last segments. So, this comes from the So True podcast by Caleb Heron. He has a last segment.
Shout out.
Called What is So True to You? And this kind of is like also like a hot take. What is something that is like, that's so true?
Interesting. I want you to go first, I think.
Something that is so true to me. I have a few things, and especially more leaning towards hot take. I think, and you already know this one, I think something that is so true is that sororities are cults.
That's really the one you're like, I identify with that.
Well, I can't think of really anything else. I mean, there are so many others, but like, that is one that I keep coming back to. Because how is that not true? Like, that's true. That is so true. And also maybe a hot take. I don't know.
I don't know. I maybe I should have looked at the questions before. I'm blanking on this one. I don't know.
Okay, you can think on it and get back to me. And this is the very, very last segment, which I'll be asking everybody and all of my guests. what are some questions for me? Anything that you want to talk about, questions for me, anything that you want to know about me, which this might apply less to you because
I know you so well.
You kind of already know me, so it might not, whatever, but...
I'll whip up some.
I was saying earlier, remember, we'll come back to that. You said, oh, I want to talk about, let me ask you something. You said something like that, which maybe I should have just let you ask it.
Yeah, you should have let me freaking ask
No,
it.
you don't remember. If not, I mean...
No, we can't end like this. I'll ask you a question. Okay. What, if you could predict, because we talked earlier how you're like a new person every, let's say, 6 months.
Yeah.
I'd say you became a new person like maybe 6 months ago. Who's the new Samaya? Like, what are you, you know what I mean? What are you...
That's a good question.
What do you predict for yourself?
That's a good question. The one thing that I consistently see myself not being that I wish I was patient. I wish I was a more patient person. And I always see it, especially like in stores with like babies. And I'm like, oh my God, I could never be as patient as a mother.
Right.
Or I could never be as patient as like somebody with their like training their dog and having to walk their dog every day. And just being like that, just like rigorous and just like, I don't know what disciplined. Being more disciplined and patient. Yeah. I hope that for me is in the future. Yeah. In the near future. I don't know how far I have to go, but...
Interesting. Patience. I feel like you sort of like... You see some weaknesses in yourself, and every time you reinvent, one of them gets fixed.
I know.
You know what I
know. Which is, I guess, what growing up is. And I also say that I feel like I'm 16. Yeah. But when I was 16, I was like off my rocker. Actually.
You've told me.
Yeah. Like I think something that I've pulled back on a little bit is getting angry at people. Shockingly enough.
Thankfully for me.
Is flipping out on people.
Not that you ever flipped out on me, which you have, but like not to the degree of a lot of other people.
Not to like that. Not like that.
Not like
in
that.
Like high school, I would be like, I'm ready to fight somebody. And like, I never did. Or like, just like random stranger. Which actually, should I share this story? Well, I hope you would.
What a wild ending on this.
Okay, we're running overtime now. Thanks for joining me on our first ever
Still figuring out the kinks, but doing good.
Yeah, I think pretty well.
I think for a first podcast, you did pretty good.
Let's go. Okay, well, tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to the podcast.
The Friendzone.
Let's go.
Let's go.